I live in Metro Detroit with my wife, who just gave birth to our first child, which is really awesome. Yeah, it's great. And I'm a recovering alcoholic and drug addict, and now that we have a kid, people have questions. Like the other day, my buddy's like, well, like, what if you caught your kid smoking weed? That's a harmless drug. What if you caught him smoking weed? I'm like, well, seeing as he's a baby, I'd be impressed. I'm like, wow, did you roll that yourself? I thought you'd walk first. I think if my kid smokes weed, by the time he's old enough, it's just gonna be legal. And remember how your dad used to tell you, like, I used to walk 30 miles to school, up and down hill in cardboard shoes. I was damn lucky to have. I would just do that shit to my kid with weed. I'd be like, oh yeah, did you go to the store to get your pot again? You got it easy. Back in my day, you used to have to page your drug dealer, and sometimes they wouldn't get back to you. So then you'd have to start hitting up other people's drug dealers. But they were dry, so you and your friends drove down to the shittiest neighborhood you've ever seen in your life and waited for somebody to go, caw-caw, caw-caw. And you'd go, woohoo, woohoo, woohoo. And they'd run out and sell you a dime bag of mainly stems and seeds. Possibly some fish food. You and your friends would roll up a doobie and get headaches, but you know what? You were goddamn lucky to have it, son.
Dave Landau, welcome to the program.
Hey, how are you, man?
Good. Don't ask me questions.
Fair enough.
Dave Landau, of course, the son of famous Martin Landau. What's it like being the...
Grandson.
You're the grandson?
Yes. No.
No.
That'd be great, though. Like, the Edward Wood character, not when he played Bela Lugosi, he actually is a severe morphine addict, so I'm not surprised he got the role. Grandpa was always getting high.
Yeah. Well, there's a family resemblance there, Dave.
There is a little bit. Everybody says I should tell people that he's my grandpa, just so I can get in Hollywood, but I don't know how big of a name he really is anymore, but maybe. I don't know. Yeah, I don't think anybody's opening any doors or rolling out the red carpet because Martin Landau's nephew showed up.
What about Patton Oswalt? You have a bit of a resemblance to him. Are you a poor man's Patton Oswalt?
That's what I call myself.
Oh, really?
No. I've just heard that. Oh, if it's comedy style or just the fact that I'm short, I don't really know. I guess I read. I really don't know how. I think it's just because I'm short, to be honest, and a little fat.
Yeah, you've changed your look, though, Dave. You've gone with a mohawk now.
I have. To get on television, they kind of don't like white males, so I had to kind of come up with something to separate me from the pack of bearded hipsters to actually get on television.
Okay. What about tanning or something like this?
I've thought about it, but they'd still know that, I'm a white guy.
They would still know you're white.
I figured I'd have to. Yeah, I'd just be... I've tried blackface, and they get real pissed off about it.
Well, they have no sense of humor anymore. It's just political correctness bullshit.
Exactly, and that's kind of why I just kind of changed my look a little bit, to just have something that stands out a little bit more than just a white guy, which is something that I don't think Hollywood is a huge fan of right now, So it's just a way to look at different, stand out a little bit.
I don't get homophobia, I really don't, but I know where it comes from because I was raised Catholic. And in the Bible, in the book of Leviticus, it says, man shall not lay with another man. It also says that you can't get tattoos, eat shellfish, or have sex with a woman who's menstruating. So, see you in hell. Hell's gonna be a pretty unbalanced place. Like, what did you do to get here? I exterminated 6 million Jews. What did you do? One time my wife was on the rag, and I fucked her.
You know what I got the other day? I got a virtual reality headset.
Did you really?
You into VR?
No, what is that?
Virtual reality.
Oh, I thought you said VR. I'm an idiot. Yeah, no, I've not done much with it at all. I barely understand computers, which is sad.
Man, I'm telling you, virtual reality porn, it's unbelievable.
I didn't even know that was a thing. I've heard that might be a thing. Is that real now?
It's real. It's on Pornhub. I had a virtual reality helmet, and there's literally this hot 20-year-old babe, on top of me. It's unbelievable.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I would feel weird about setting that up at home with my family, though, just to have the whole lawnmower man setup. Just dry humping the air while my kid's crying.
Yeah, just working the fleshlight, the VR.
Do you have to have the gloves and stuff? Is it a whole?
No, I don't have the gloves. I just have the controllers and the headset. Unbelievable technology already. Where it's going 5-10 years. Even this, you can watch sporting events on there. So you can be.
That's crazy.
Yeah, you can be right at the Yankees game. So you'll have to pay some kind of premium to get in or whatever, but you'll be right there in the game, 360. It's unreal.
Oh, this whole feminism keeps up. We're not even going to need them anymore.
Women?
Yeah, no, I'm kidding. Yeah.
Oh, no.
I'm just joking.
Let me tell you, if you had meth and these VR glasses, you would die because you'd never leave your bedroom. You'd be masturbating for 40-hour sessions at a time. I'm telling you, it would be unreal. It'd be great.
Oh, yeah. If you mix any endless sex dream with crystal meth, you are off to the races. There's just about that.
Ugh, kind of tired, guys. I'm going to go I'm going to go to bed now.
Yeah. There's no tired. There's just more. You're doing crank off of a knife. That shit's crazy. Did you ever see the HBO Undercover series on crystal meth, where they do ecstasy meth? It was on in the late 90s.
Mm-hmm.
The kid's just, the only two hobbies this kid had as a meth head was either fucking his mom or ripping his skin off because he thought there was bugs on it.
Wow.
And that was the
that's
one
so
thing.
Fucked up because the fucking his mom is so much cooler than the ripping his skin off.
Yeah, it was the only thing I ever had to see to go, you know what, I'll do every drug except meth.
Really? I've done meth many times.
That's the only one I've never done.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, the come down's awful. I haven't done it in 15 years, but
Right. No, I've never done it. I may have done it in the late 90s if it was mixed into some ecstasy, where they would just jam 7 types of drugs into a pill and sell it to you with a Pikachu on it. But
that's what made it safe.
So yeah, even though you knew it was speed, crank, heroin, and a little bit of Molly, it was really some rat poison and shit. Yeah, I'm sure it's been in my system. It just wasn't deliberate.
I don't want to go to work today. The worst thing about being a Florida whore is the taste of a prick, especially when there's more than one.
Hey, I know that feeling.
Oh, wow. Dino Landini, homosexually repressed gangster.
Sometimes when I'm letting 2 fellas tag team my mouth out of respect, all I gotta do to help the flavor is reach for some Dino Landini's brick sauce.
Prick sauce? How does it work?
Oh, it's simple. Let's say these 2 bananas is a couple of Johns.
Just smother the sauce on them? Oh, boy.
Go ahead, give it a try.
Okay, I'll try them. Okay, just go put them back here. And the other one back here, too. Okay. Wow, that's good sauce, no matter what hole I put it in.
I bet no one loves you.
Landini Prick Sauce, now available in a 1-gallon Florida whore drum. It's much more fun to lick when there's Landini sauce on a prick.
Dino Landini's Prick Sauce. This is a fascinating product, of course. Why did you choose a red sauce over a white sauce? Was that just too on the nose? Too on the cock, as it were?
It's you on the cock. Why I did it was I make all those videos in about 10 minutes, during when my kid's taking a nap during the day, because I have to, sort of multitask as a dad. So the only thing I had was regular spaghetti sauce. And I had a really douchey shirt that my brother bought me for Christmas. So I just basically did a Polly Walnuts character and just called it Brick Sauce. That was it.
Are you going to keep playing off this character, Dino Landini? Is this a big part of your act now?
I don't do them at all on stage. I just do it to promote shows. And I just did my second one, which was the Florida whore who doesn't want to go to work because she doesn't like the taste of dicks, especially if there's more than one. And then the next commercial, I want it to be a guy and a girl like sitting in a car at a drive-in, and she's like, "Nah, I just don't want to suck it. I just don't like the taste." And he's like, "Come on." And then I'll appear in the back seat and be like, "I know the feeling." And they'll be like, "Dino Landini." Like, that's right. And then I'll put some sauce on his prick, and it'll seem like it's burning him.
Yeah. Just out of nowhere, you just sort of pop up. Hey, you need some Dino Landini's prick sauce.
Exactly. And like, she'll be like, "Dino Landini." And he'll be like, "How'd you get in my car?" You know, just go ahead and suck it.
Dino Landini's prick sauce. How does it measure up to the competition, Dino Landini's?
Oh, it's the best. Just like Mama used to make. Not my mother, but Mama was a tranny who OD'd at a Greyhound bus station. I found a recipe under her wig.
The wife of Martin.
The wife of Martin, yeah. Grandma. Well,
that's a whole other thing, that Martin's wife was a whore.
Yeah, she was. But she was a classy whore.
Okay. A lot of whores in our
She
conversation.
slept with all the big names. Yeah, there are a lot of whores in this conversation.
Yes. But speaking of Melania Trump, what is it like living under the reign of Donald Trump? I mean, I'm a Canadian. I can only kind of watch from afar. I would have voted for him. What do you think? How do you think it's going?
I don't know. Like, for me, I have to be honest. Like, I think he's ridiculous. It's kind of hard for me to even, like, I thought he was a jackass his whole life, just because he's the embodiment of, like, American greed, and he's every, you know, the only thing about him is, if it's compared to Hillary, it was just such a shitty election. What way are you going to go, you know? And I think it's just, I'll take anybody next time, is my honest opinion, and the way that I look at it, because I don't think he necessarily is a bad guy, but I think our whole political system is very fucked up and very corrupt. So it's kind of hard for me to look at least he's an outsider to what the giant problem already is. And I think a lot of the trouble with what's going on with him right now is because he is an outsider, and people are like, "Oh, Russia hacked our election," and all this other shit that's just simply not true. So it's kind of a mess because of how many people are going after him, and, you know, just how even the guy getting shot, the senator the other day, and everything that's going on right now, it's just kind of crazy. It's a very weird time to be living.
Like, you know, there's a lot of guys that don't want to admit they've turned on Trump. You know, a lot of people didn't want to admit they were going to vote for him. Now no one wants to admit they were wrong.
Right, that's absolutely true. And for me, I'm not really, like, political in that way. I just feel like I haven't given up on him. I think he's our president, and I want him to do good. I don't like the healthcare bill. I don't like a lot of the things that he's done. But again, it's the same thing that it's always been. It's two sides who can never come to agreement on anything, pushing back. And I actually consider myself liberal, but I consider myself a true liberal. And the thing that liberal has become in this country is the complete opposite. It's Marxist, it's fascist, it's nothing that I believe in at all. So it's kind of a weird place for me to be in, that I am more conservative now just by default.
Well, how do you feel about this political correctness and being a comedian? Because, you know, for a lot of comedians, they have to change their material to suit the audience.
I rarely do change it, but I hate it. I think that political correctness has no place in comedy, and now it's very easy to take down everybody for saying something even that's not even offensive. Like, people want to battle you all the time. Like, I even wrote a post not too long ago on Facebook about how a guy wrote an entire article about how Dave Chappelle is a transphobic person, and his special is somebody that his special proves that he hasn't evolved with the times, because he had a Bruce Jenner joke. And his Bruce Jenner joke was simply about how he's dealing with the fact that a guy who was a track star hero and on his Wheaties box is now a woman. He's just dealing with the emotional transition of being a U.S. citizen and trying to put it out there in a joking form like comedians do, and people wanted to destroy him for that. I think it's absolutely the worst.
Well, think of these 90s sitcoms, right? There was so many... You're getting loud there, Dave. What's going on?
Sorry, it's, somebody was banging on my door. Sorry about that. Say that again.
No, is it a hooker or something, or should I let you go? What's going on?
No. The show is going to come back in an hour so I can strangle her in the tub.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah.
Good.
I'd suffocate her with a pillow. I think it leaves a lot less marks.
Yeah, that just doesn't get me as hard. I don't know what it is.
It's the terror that gets you hard. No, I get it.
Yeah, there's like a big mirror there. I can see it all. I can see the life rush from her face.
Right, you tape it too, though.
Of
That's
course.
the best part, so you can keep it for posterity or whatever.
Indeed, absolutely. It's mummified for a long time under my porch, like John Wayne Gacy.
Was it under his porch? It was in he developed things as crawl space or some shit.
Yeah, well, he put like all the teenagers under his porch, and then Chicago had like a really hot summer, so that everything just reeked, and people were like, I think your sewage pipe is backed up. We're going to check it out. And it's like, oh, no, it's a bunch of graves.
That is the creepiest guy ever. I don't think anyone's creepier than John Wayne Gacy. I mean, the creep... And apparently when he got these guys in private, because there's a guy that escaped.
Yeah.
He would just turn, and all of a sudden he went into this fucking creepy clown character.
Yep.
Like Pennywise, right? Just a creepy... That's just everything you don't want with a clown.
No, absolutely. No, and there's a book about him. It's something with Gacy. Maybe it's just called Gacy or Interviews with Gacy, and a kid wrote it about
Dances with Gacy.
That was it. Yeah, Dan. Gacy of Dreams. But yeah, it was all about him being manipulated by him while he was talking to him while he was in prison, And the guy was so good at manipulation that the kid just believed everything he said, and he almost killed him in a jail interview.
Holy shit.
Yeah, the guy's nuts.
No, it's true. You watch these interviews, Ted Bundy, with John Wayne Gacy, especially Jeffrey Dahmer.
Oh, yeah.
You feel sorry for him. It's like, fuck, why don't you just let him go?
Well, yeah, I know. Well, Ted Bundy had an almost presidential charisma to him. He even acted as his own lawyer. It just turns out that it's like, dude, you're not a good lawyer. It just makes you look way more guilty.
Well, that and, killing 17 people.
Right, yeah. They're pretty sure you're going to go away for one of these.
He would have had to have been an unbelievable lawyer.
Oh, yeah. That's why Dahmer didn't act as his own lawyer, because once you have Asian kids' heads in a fridge, it's kind of hard to get an acquittal.
No, that's you're going to plea deal right away.
Absolutely.
Why don't we do 10 years, second degree?
Yeah.
No, you're right about this political correctness, though. Like 90s sitcoms, there's a lot of gay innuendo jokes. You give it 10 years, these shows are going to be banned. Seinfeld, Frasier.
Absolutely.
We know what you meant by there's not that there's anything wrong with that. You did mean there was something wrong with that. No, we got to pull that.
Well, and that's the problem is humor should be able to make fun of any. Like I should be made fun of for being short, for being fat. I can make fun of myself for being married, for being late. Whatever it is, and it's
you are.
Yeah, and I do on stage in my act, and I think you should be able to make fun of anybody for anything. I think one of the best things about humor is that it brings us together by pointing out our differences. And if you take that away, or the ability to say it, it kills anything that's funny. And I don't actually believe that anybody is offended by most things they pretend to be offended about. It's just part of a bullshit cause to give them self-importance. And we're at a point now where, you say one joke about terrorism on stage, which I'll do in Detroit, and then all of a sudden that can be labeled as Islamophobic, or whatever new phobic word that we've come up with now, xenophobic, which means you don't like anything, apparently. That's a new word. Stuff that I've never even heard of before that are used as regular terms in magazines like Newsweek and Time. It's just kind of crazy that is something that we all are listening to and believing right now. It's bullshit.
No, I know. My girlfriend's quite a bit younger than I am.
Mm-hmm.
Going to get her driver's license at 17.
No, nice. Her shoes light up.
Pigtails. Oh, yeah.
Calls it spaghetti or paschetti.
Oh, that's so cute. Take off your clothes and let me put them all nicely on the bed here. Okay. No, it's nothing like that. She's 31 and she's a lawyer actually.
Okay.
But she uses all these bullshit terms like, like stop fat shaming me, she'll tell me, or stop slut shaming me, she'll tell me. I'm just being an asshole. I'm not shaming anybody.
No, and I've heard that term of fat shaming and that kind of thing, but there is a point where you go, okay, you weigh 800 pounds, and if you want to go to the grocery store, I have to remove a wall in your house, and there's a reality show here to tape you. At what point do you feel ashamed?
Oh, they're going to have to relabel those shows. You see, that's the 600-pound shaming.
Yeah, it's going to go from, or it's going to be called A Whole Lot of Woman or Confidence Lady. Or
Yes, these beautiful women. Oh,
yeah.
Look at her.
She died of a massive heart attack grafted to her bed because she was a strong, independent woman show.
Yeah, dealing with the victimization of culture who couldn't understand.
Couldn't understand.
A hero, actually.
Well, that's what I always find. It's like, look, I'm a recovering alcoholic. I fuck up. I understand that it's extremely difficult for somebody who's overweight to say, look at something like a Twinkie, and then everything about you and all your energy is put into not eating it. It's draining, and it sucks. So it's like, I get it that that's very, very difficult for these people because their brain wants them to feed themselves for pleasure, and it sucks. But it's like, to think that I make a joke about it or because it's out of hate, it's not. It's just a way of dealing with it and kind of laughing off stuff that's serious. I think that's always how it's been, and I think that's the problem is calling it shaming and calling all this stuff so horrible and we can't just make fun of each other is detrimental to our society.
If it feels good, it's okay.
Well, not only that, is you can do whatever you want and you expect to be applauded for it. And there's just some shit you shouldn't be applauded. It's not that great.
It's like that chick who didn't shave her legs on...
Right.
I saw Anthony talking about that. There was some girl who went 1 year without shaving her legs.
Right.
So she gets a big centerfold in a fucking magazine for it.
And why? What's wrong with, that's the part that I don't get. If it's part of a society where you shave your legs, it's the same way as, men get a haircut or whatever it is, then why? I don't think that's courageous. You're just being lazy, and everybody's so brave. So brave. You're not that brave. You're not anything. You just didn't do something that you're supposed to for hygiene.
That's a good point, too. I haven't raped anyone. I should be applauded for that.
Right, and that's the thing, though. All sex is rape now, so you probably have. Well, now any form of sex is apparently rape. That's what I've noticed, is everybody's been raped, and it's insane to me how it's just like, well, one time I was in bed and I told him no twice, and then finally I just let him. I'm like, oh, so you mean you had sex? Because that's how that exchange works, is the girl has always been like, oh, I don't know, and then you have sex for the first time. When has that not been how that works?
When you pay for it.
Right. It's just weird to me that everything that is considered a societal norm is now considered, the opposite or an attack, or, it's just very odd to me how people see this world now.
But that's the way it is. There's nothing you can do about it.
Oh, absolutely. And that might mean that I just do my act how I do my act, and if you get offended by something, because my goal is not to offend you. I'm just trying to make you laugh. It's not my fault if you get upset.
If my wife and I do have kids, I don't want to be one of these people who are always showing pictures of their kids to people. My wife has a friend like that. She's always showing pictures of her kid to people. It's annoying. Even complete stranger. Just look at my kid. Have you seen my kid? Look at my kid. Picture my kid. Look at my kid. Here's my kid. Look at my kid. Picture my kid. Picture my kid. Picture my kid. Look at my... It's relax. It's been 2 years. You're not going to find them. Just keep a better eye next time. You hated that joke, didn't you? All right.
You've sobered up? Is that what you said?
Yes.
Does that make you less funny or funnier?
Way better than I ever was, yeah.
Yeah, because you can write better now, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I had a couple relapses, which I'm not proud of, but I got sober in '09, and, because when I fall hard, but at least I'm at a point where the last time I did, I picked myself up a day later and go, Jesus Christ. And, it was only a few times, but, everybody falls. But, yeah, it's better for me than ever. And I've been more honest on stage, more open. I do a lot of rehab shows, stuff like that, and these are, a lot of people with real problems. And it's nice to kind of talk to those people. You're not going to get judged by people you perform to who have robbed their own grandmother to get heroin. They're not gonna accuse you of fat shaming, suck dick for coke.
I can't laugh at that because that's a Saget joke, but
anybody. I mean, it's a Saget joke, I guess, but it's a reality.
How do you feel about joke theft?
It's awful.
You ever ripped anybody off, or
no, ever?
Had anybody take your material?
I have had people take my material, unfortunately.
Because your material's fairly unique, I have to say.
Thank you.
It's a Dave Landau joke. It's not just the cart with the wonky wheel.
No, it's definitely my voice and the way that I do it, and that's, I had one person take my missing kid joke and put it on Reddit and tried to take, and a bunch of people just ate the dude alive, which was nice to watch. And I was at an open mic one time, and a guy was doing some of my material, and one time I did Gotham Comedy Live, and I used the term gayby, because I was talking about somebody like, oh, well, what if your baby's gay? And I used the term gayby, and then it appeared on a CBS show called Mom, 3 months later. So I definitely have had that happen. But I do think there's also a lot of people doing comedy, so there is an element of parallel thinking, and sometimes people might jump on other people a little too quickly now to be joke police. But at the same time, I think when somebody's stolen something, and they should be called out.
Somebody says to me, explain to me how dead children are funny. Maybe I missed something. I see that you have at least one child, Dave. If they were kidnapped and murdered, would you laugh?
Oh, clearly, yeah. Oh, I saw that on the YouTube video about my joke. Yeah, I was going to explain. I was actually going to comment on that, but I decided not to, because that guy's not looking for a rationalization. He's looking for an argument to be right. So why is that joke funny? Because it goes one way and there's a giant left, and you laugh at the utter insensitivity of it. Of course, dead children aren't funny. Being that insensitive about a dead child is so fucking cruel that it's funny. It goes so far into being mean that it pops back out in the funny side. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's why I think it's one of the great jokes. I think it's one of the great.
Thank you.
It's one of the funniest jokes I've ever heard. I mean, it's brilliant.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, and I saw that guy, and that's the thing, is he makes it personal, too, right away. Well, what if your kid died? I'm going to tell him his kid died and see if he thinks it's funny. Because I'm not. I'm making a general joke about
straw man argument.
Insensitivity. Exactly. So it's I'm not going to argue with the guy. There's no winning that argument. He just wants to be one of these PC people who want to be heard. That's it.
My friend actually said to me, he goes, what if you have a gay baby? What if you have a gay baby? I'm like, first of all, if my kid ends up being gay, it's whatever. Live their life. Secondly, I don't know if I've ever seen a gay baby. I've never been holding one this one's pretty gay. Unless maybe his first words were, if I could turn back time. And you might have a gayby on your hand. I don't get homophobia. I don't get the arguments against gay marriage. It makes no sense to me. You should marry who you want. And if they outlawed straight marriage tomorrow, dudes would be dancing out the door. Sorry, honey, I gotta go. It's the law. You ladies would leave too. Just, hey, potbelly, small dick, I'm going dancing. Yeah. You smell like a foot. And whenever people argue about gay marriage, it's always the same dude. They find him in the woods. He just says, we let guys start getting married. People want to start marrying animals. And appliances. Where do you draw the goddamn line? I think just before animals and appliances.
Seinfeld's the scientist, right? He tinkers with a joke, the wording of a joke. Do you get that into the wording of a joke?
Absolutely, all the way down to sounds. I mean, if there's a word with like the letter K in it, which was for some reason a funny sound, but you don't want to overuse fuck because it's such a good tool to use when you need it. The K sound can be a very, for some reason, funny sound. So if there's a word I can use with a K to, add to the punchline, or, I never have a finished joke. I constantly will rework them and tag them, and people ask me, like, how do you do, like, 10 tags on a joke? And it's because if I'm on stage, I'll just think of one, or think of one, think of one. And I kind of, a lot of stuff that's even on my first album from 9 years ago, I still do now, but you might not even recognize it as the same joke because I've just been constantly switching it around and changing things about it.
So you do get sick of telling the same joke?
Absolutely.
Seinfeld, to bring him up again, he always has set stuff. That's his shit, right? You're going to see Seinfeld, and 80% of it's going to be the exact same stuff you've always seen. No big surprise. You're paying to see Sinatra.
Yeah, I had his album from 90, somewhere in the 90s, and then I went and saw him in 2005 with my then girlfriend, now wife, and it was almost word for word the same thing. I still laughed my ass off, though. It was great, but, he definitely is very much an I have an act comic, not like a Bill Burr, I have a new hour every, 3 days comic.
I ask all these comedians that I talk to this question. It's a fucking cliche, but yet I think it can yield a good answer.
Okay.
Comedy is born of tragedy.
Yes.
What makes you so funny?
I don't know. I mean, if you break down what's happened to me in my life, I've definitely used humor to get out of everything. I lost my dad to brain cancer when I was young, and I lost a lot of friends in a car accident, and I lost a lot of people that I cared for. I had I had a lot of bad hands dealt to me, and I always used comedy to sort of get out of that. I mean, even last year, about a year and a half ago, my mom committed suicide, and that was something that, I actually had turned parts of that into jokes that, I couldn't quite pull off unless it was like a rehab or something, because that topic is so dark to so many people, and I get that. But if I don't use humor to deal with everything, I would just go completely fucking nuts. And that's, I think, why I do have a dark sensibility in my comedy, because I've always wanted to turn the worst things in my life into something funny. It's just how I deal with it. I don't know if it's a self-defense or just a defense mechanism, but that's how I've always learned to deal with pain.
How you doing, Mr. Trump? Think you're tough? A little bit? Little bit? You think you're tough? Yeah. You think you're something. You're a clown. People say you're a dick. I like to punch you right in the dick, huh? I apologized for Rocky and Bullwinkle, all right? It was a piece of shit. I know that. But you're a bigger piece of shit than that. You're a queer. You know that, Mr. Trump? A little better queer. What? Don't say that. Pasta break, Gotta have a pasta break when I do stuff. A little bit. How about you analyze this, huh? Oh, what's over here? Oh, analyze that, huh? Hey, doctor, it's De Niro. I think I got a little melanoma on my face. A little bit. You're a coward, huh? A cupcake. You know that? You talking to me? I'm talking to you. You want a little bit of advice? Go see Dave Landau this week. October 24 through 30. Brad Garrett's, the M Gym in Vegas. You got that, Mr. Trump? Go there. Get off your campaign. Go see a comic. You got that, Mr. Trump? A little bit?
You ever watch that old Family Feud with Richard Dawson?
Oh, where he's just groping everybody and tonguing them?
I don't know how it works now, but if they won, they'd keep coming back. And sometimes you'd see the one that he really liked, the young daughter, and every time they'd come back, he'd keep finding creepy ways to get the kiss in.
Oh, yeah, everything. Well, now it's just Steve Harvey, who clearly roots for the black family. My friend has a great joke about that, where he's just like, all right, what's the first song? What do you put on Ashy Elbows? All right, what you got, Johnson family? It's my friend Corey. It's so funny. He's like, name a Jay-Z song. Come on.
He's like 60 years old, you know.
Yeah, black people do not age. It's impressive.
Black don't crack.
It is impressive. No, it does not at all.
Are you married to a black woman?
I'm not, no. No, I had my chance. I am from Detroit, but I found a Polish gal. That's pretty much what we have: black, Irish, Polish, and Italian.
I've never met a black Polish woman.
I don't know if I have either.
I'm sure they exist. There must be at least one black woman in Poland.
There's probably one. There might not be, though. Maybe it's anytime you see an albino.
It's just shocking. Oh. What's the best act you've ever seen? You know who I saw live once? The Smothers Brothers. They were great.
I would imagine they were. I got the best live comedic act I've ever seen. I would probably say Dave Chappelle, because I opened for him a few times. And one time it was an arena for 7,000 people, and that was amazing to watch him work. But actually, opening for him in a theater for 2,000 people was even better because it had more of an intimacy. And he's absolutely incredible. He's like, to me, he's the Michael Jordan of comedy. Everything's a slam dunk, and he gets there the most interesting way possible. He absolutely blows my mind every time I watch him. And Norm Macdonald, who... a
lot of people don't get Norm Macdonald. I think he's great.
Oh, yeah, I think his recent Netflix special is the best Netflix special that's come out.
Better than Norton's?
Norton's is really, really good.
Yeah.
It's really good, though. I mean, the way that he makes such perversion charming is so funny to me.
He's talking about sucking off trannies. And, don't look at the feet. Don't look at the feet. It's hilarious.
And just in the most casual way.
And it's very good advice, too.
Yeah, he's great. And that's actually a brilliant special, too. I don't want to take that away from him. I just, Norm I like because if you watch him, the first few seconds of what he does, or the first few minutes, the crowd may not get, but by the end, he's just fucking destroying. Like, he does not compromise who he is for an audience. And that's what I loved about his Weekend Update, was he would just say it. The hardest I ever laughed at Weekend Update was a joke where he said, Lisa Marie Presley and Michael Jackson have decided to get a divorce. Lisa Marie wishes that he wasn't such a homebody, and Michael Jackson wishes that she was an 8-year-old boy.
Yeah, I've heard that joke. I know it.
Then the whole place is booing, and he goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, you haven't heard? He's a homosexual pedophile."
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And that's why I love him, was Norm just says it. There's no tap dancing around it. He just says it.
He's quite a cerebral guy.
Yeah.
On that last Comic Standing, when he was the judge,
yes,
he definitely thinks outside of the box. He's quite bright.
And I liked what he said. There was a big thing about how the one guy had bashed Christianity. And
it's the gay comic.
Yeah, and he had bashed Christianity, and people got on Norm, and he's like, but it's just so easy to do that. It's just what everybody does. Like, that's not brave. I don't know how you can call that brave. It's not a brave joke. And, everybody disagreed with him because that's kind of like that Hollywood mentality of like, well, we have to bash religion and Christianity. And Norm was like, it's just bullshit and easy and the way to get to the next round. And I thought that was amazing of him to be that honest on a show like that. And because I think when you look at comics who truly don't give a fuck, that's the guy. And that's the dude. And he's incredible to me. He's just so fucking good at what he does that it's amazing to watch him work.
Well, good enough. Dave Landau, if you got an interest in Dave Landau, go to davelandau.com.
There you go.
He's very funny. He's on the Anthony Cumia show. That's a premium prescription. Yeah, it is a prescription for all that ails you. But it's a subscription-based network. You have to pay to listen to it.
When at $5.95 a month, it couldn't be a better value.
Yeah, you get 6 shows, archives. It is ridiculous. I sound like I'm promoting it, but I'm not. You should pay for it. Yeah, $5.95.
Yeah.
Dave Landau, thank you so much for being a guest on the program.
Thank you for having me, dude. I appreciate it.